Hello everybody, welcome to the United Stands. I'm Mark Goldbridge, Merry Christmas. It's Manchester United versus Newcastle, it's Boxing Day, and let's hope Manchester United can deliver a knockout blow to Newcastle. I've been working on that one all Christmas, but look, hopefully Amorim has been working on this all Christmas because it is a game that we do need to really win. And, you look at that lineup, and I've got to say, I have some concerns about it in relation to how Manchester United may approach the game. Obviously, we can see that he's gone with 3 centre-backs in the lineup. And I think there's a lot of people talking about Martinez in the midfield. Argate's obviously took that spot. I obviously do agree with that. I do think it's a bit of a concern. Let me know your thoughts on the team news. I mean, I do think 3 centre-backs is a lot for Manchester United to be playing with a left back. 3 left-footed centre-backs is a lot. I'm not surprised by the team, but I'm slightly disappointed. I'm not. I'll reserve judgment, of course, and we'll see how it goes. But I just feel that yet again, this may well be the sort of example of no, it's not being a moaner issue. It's about having an opinion. Come on, grow up. If you don't want to have a conversation, with all due respect, piss off. Like, we're here to have a conversation. We've been doing it for 10 years. So if you can't deal with that, go and play Monopoly with your gran. Go and have another eggnog and do whatever it is you want to do. We're here to have a conversation. I'm hoping that Martinez is just going to step into the midfield, and therefore it won't make such a difference. But I do feel like it's... Well, I'm just going to be honest. I'm disappointed that he's not put Martinez in the midfield to pick Ugarte, who was crap last week and has been crap all season. It's like, I just don't think Pep Guardiola would behave like this. I don't think Jurgen Klopp would behave like this. It almost feels like it's a bit like, well, the fans want me to play Martinez, so I'm not going to do it. And I'm sort of like... Martinez played really well, in my opinion. In the second half last week, Martinez played really well, and the midfield had balance, and Ugarte played really bad. So you would think, without Bruno and without Manu, you would pick the guy in the midfield that did really well. But no, we go and give him his first start as a centre-back, and we put Ugarte back in there again. And I'm sort of like, let's hope it works, because it does feel, again, like it's a little bit of a manager who is just doing the opposite of what the fans want. And I have seen that movie before. Where the manager just sort of like doesn't do what the fans want. And it's almost a bit of a, what's the word? It's almost a little bit of defiance. And we don't need it. Like, you really could have just, like, you're playing 3 left-footed centre-backs. You could have played Yoro and had a right-footed centre-back. You're playing 3 left-footed centre-backs, and you're putting Ugarte in the midfield. And I'm like, you could have played Martinez in the midfield and put Yoro at right centre-back. And I feel like, look, hopefully it's not going to matter. It's such a big game, and we desperately need to win it. Anton Deck FC need to piss off and shag their zebras, because we need the wins. We need the win tonight. We can kill off Newcastle. We can kill them off completely. But I've got to be honest. I have to be honest. I was disappointed when I saw that Martinez wasn't in the midfield, because I genuinely don't think Casemiro and Ugarte is going to give Bruno sleepless nights. But I think Martinez and Casemiro would have done. I think there was an opportunity to pick a midfield that was different to what we've seen. We've seen Casemiro and Ugarte, and we know that Bruno comes back into that. But I think if he'd picked Martinez and Casemiro, and it had worked against a very good midfield, we could go, oh yeah, this is something new. But, look, Taylor says Yoro made 2 big game-changing mistakes against Aston Villa. Yeah, mate, because we're the team that drops people who makes mistakes. I mean, it wasn't Bruno who didn't track the runner against Fulham, was it? It wasn't Dalot who didn't stop the cross against Tielemans. I would have picked Yoro. I would have put up Martinez in the midfield. That's what I would have done. But hopefully we'll be fine. Hopefully we'll be absolutely fine. But that's it's another reason to sort of like be what's the word? It's look, if things go wrong, then in the midfield, then we won't know what we don't know. It will have been a case of what could have been. And I think that's the opportunity, isn't it? But you know what? I think it's Christmas time and Manchester United have an opportunity to win the game and, produce a result that makes us all happy, Newcastle are very inconsistent themselves. So I just feel like Martinez is wasted in the back three. That's what I feel like. I don't think that... I just hope he's going to step into the midfield. Yeah. Let's have a look at the Newcastle side, though. A lot of people are putting their comments in, but I haven't looked at the Newcastle side myself, so I just want to have a quick look at it. So Newcastle lineup is Ramsdale, who is shaky, very shaky. Got to put the crosses in on Ramsdale, basically. Miley, Tau, Shaw, Hall, Tonali, Bruno Guimaraes and Ramsey, and then Jacob Murphy, Voltemada and Gordon, which is good news because Joel Linton's only on the bench for them. So I think that is good news. Our bench, Binder, Fletcher, Fredrickson, Lacey, Malacia, Mantato, Yoro and Xerxes. There's not much on that bench. There's a lot of kids on that bench, but there's not a lot on that bench. Whereas for Newcastle, they've got Wizza, they've got Harvey Barnes, they've got Joel Linton, they've got Willock. So you could argue that Newcastle have, on paper, the better team, but I still think we've got to be favourites to win this game. Stephen says, we're already playing safe, making excuses. I think Martinez will step in the midfield and make it a 4-3-3, and Agate pressing high and disrupting Bruno G running the midfield, says Niraj. Is it possible it's a back four and Martinez is playing CDM in a midfield three, says Walsh. It's not impossible, but it makes even less sense to play Luke Shaw as a left centre-back and Martin and Heaven as a right centre-back, but we'll see. T says, I'm not feeling confident for this game, Mark. I don't know what I'm feeling. I mean, look, it's, I've had a few. I've got a few red next to me. It's Boxing Day. I've been down the pub. I've had a few this afternoon. I'm looking forward to it. I want to be entertained. I don't want to lose to Newcastle. But I sort of do agree with Diane. It's a hard game to call. Starting Agate is like starting with 10 men, says Billy, biggest ball knowledge. Well, let's hope you haven't got the biggest ball knowledge. And Yoro paying price for Delo mistake. Sack this guy, says Ruddy. The Yoro conversation's a separate conversation, but Delo could shit on Amorim's, let's not say face, but dinner, and he'd still pick him, let's be honest. Hi, Mark. I got your book for Christmas. Great so far. I forgot I even had a bloody book. I haven't even been promoting it, but enjoy it, Tom. It's a good read. Thank you very much. Telling Agate to leave if I didn't pick him today, says Robert McCormack. And it'll be a 4-3-3 with Martinez being the third midfielder. Stop moaning, says Default. Well, it won't be, but I can still say what I think. I don't think it will be. So Ineos wants Amorim to play a 4-3-3 rather than appoint a manager who can actually play a 4-3-3. They're cowards, says Marvin. And Aidan Gillespie, 7-3-8. Can I just say, if it's a 4-3-3, you're telling me we're putting Cunha on one wing and Mount on the other? Marvin says, so Ineos wants done that one. Aidan, welcome to the Members Club. Thank you very much for getting your badge in. Really appreciate that. Just hope we do business in the window, says Love Hate Games. And Waste Audio, thank you very much for your very generous super chat tonight. You can do that through the $sign. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that. We are in the mud with that lineup. I don't know. I don't feel like that. I don't feel like that. I feel like, they're showing Bruno Fernandes here. I know he's got to be there, but I wouldn't let him anywhere near the dressing room. I think tonight is such an exciting opportunity to not be Bruno, like to not have him there. I wouldn't want him on the touch side. I wouldn't want him in the dressing room. I would like, at some point, we've got to move away from Bruno Fernandes. And if he's out for a month, we've got a coach. It's Ruben Amorim. I wouldn't want him hanging around the tunnel or the dressing room. I think we need, this is an opportunity tonight. And that's why I wanted Martinez in the midfield. It was an opportunity tonight to show something a little bit, to move out of Bruno's shadow, which we have to do at some point. And that's not saying Bruno's a bad player. He's not a bad player. But we need, there's a real opportunity for Cunha tonight, Mason Mount tonight, to Sesko tonight, to really show what they're all about. I personally think Cunha Cunha kept Wolves up single-handedly. You look at Wolves this season, they've got 2 points. 2 points. And we're halfway through the season. Cunha was the talisman for Wolves last year. And he can be the talisman for Manchester United tonight. So, look, hopefully that's how it's going to be. Because I've just realised this picture never works well when I'm stood up. It reflects badly. So, I'm hoping that we can deliver something tonight without Bruno. Because at some point we're going to have to transition on from that. And why not be tonight? You know? Why not be tonight? So let's hope. Why is Malacia on the bench ahead of Leon? Says Quinn. Oh, apparently Malacia is doing quite well now. Maybe Martinez isn't playing as a midfielder to save Bruno blushes, says Tab. Why? Maybe... done that one from Tab. Putting Yoro at right centre-back and Martinez in midfield would leave no one on the bench for the defence, says Vedant. Fredrickson? Go to a back four? I mean, I'm sorry, I just don't buy that one at all. Me and my girlfriend Kerry are starting a new Boxing Day tradition by watching the United game. Hopefully she's our good luck charm. Come on, United, says United 777. Well, good luck, Kerry. Hopefully you are going to be the good luck charm. We need some. These bloody starting lineups make my blood boil. Cheers, mate. Hope you enjoyed Christmas, says Nath Soccer. Merry Christmas, pal. Hope you had a good one. Appreciate that. Mrs. Stone says it could be a 4-3-3 with Dorgu on the left wing. And I just hope we do some business in the window. Did that from Love Hate Games. Look, it will be a 4-3-3 at times, but what many of us already know is that we have been a 4-3-3 in possession already. Some people are acting like it's only happened in the last week. We've been a 4-3-3 in possession many times this season. But without the ball, it'll be a back five, I guarantee you, like it has been. I have a feeling Ugarte will surprise everyone today, says Kev. Mate, it would be a surprise if you put in a good performance. It'd be a bloody big surprise. But like the return of Dirty Den from EastEnders when he got shot and died in a canal. Happy Christmas, Mark. Happy Christmas, Sebo. He says, blessing you and the family. Can you give my son Emerson a shout out? We're at Old Trafford for his first United game. Come on, United. Well, let's hope that Emerson is going to get a first game at Old Trafford win. That would be absolutely fantastic. We all certainly want that. PJ says, Merry Christmas, everyone. Hope you're enjoying the holidays. Sitting here firelighting, pint of beer at the ready. Lovely, jubbly. Come on, United. I think we all are looking for a little bit of positivity this Christmas time, aren't we? It would be great to win. It's a tough game, but it would be great to win. Have you seen TalkSport's Impressionist doing you? Well, it's not TalkSport's Impressionist, is it? He's been doing me for ages on TikTok. Anyway, we move on. Why is Malacia on the bench ahead of Liam? We've done that one. And thoughts on Rasmus's disgusting Instagram post, says Evan. You'd have to tell me what the post is, because if it's him saying I made the right move going to Napoli, it's not disgusting. I said this on Countdown. Why are people worried about saving people for the bench? It's not Pokemon. You start your best players, not save them, so the bench looks good. Shows we need more players, says JW. Thank you, pal. Mark, lasagna for Christmas dinner, yes or no? Well, no. I love a lasagna, but not for Christmas dinner. Really, no. Is that Lego Goldbridge in the frame behind you? It is, Luke, it is. And I can't remember where I got it from, but they're fantastic. Could we not have had a back five of Dorgu, Delo, Heaven, Martinez and Shaw? Says Quinster. Well, we have. That is the back five. Yoro is young, maybe he's protecting him from the fans, says Shank. And why do I feel like Lacey will get a goal and assist today, says Yago. I don't know. Only you know why you're feeling like that about that. Well, let's not talk about losing, Saj, because we don't need to talk about that at the moment. You know, there is a game of football in front of us, and let's hope we can do it. Love from Greece. Merry Christmas all. Beer is out. Come on, United. Keep up the good work, says Harlow. Well, look, it's at the very least, it's Christmas time. You can see the top of the tree there. You'll see more of it at half time. It's Boxing Day night. It's 8 o'clock kickoff here in the UK. Hopefully you've all had a good Christmas, and hopefully you're all feeling as positive as I am that maybe Man United can get a result. I think I think it's a very dangerous thing with Manchester United to assume that we're not going to get a result as well, because as we've seen countless times, we predict we're going to struggle and we actually do get a good performance. And when you think about the game against Sunderland, Newcastle, a local derby, and they didn't even turn up for it a couple of weeks ago. So, look, Newcastle, you can definitely get at them. I watched them play against Chelsea on Saturday. They were very, very good, but they drew the game. So, look, it's a real opportunity for us tonight to progress. And when you look at the league table, if we won tonight, we'd be joint fourth with Chelsea and Liverpool. And we'd put ourselves 6 points ahead of Newcastle. So I don't really see, other than Arsenal, City, Villa, Chelsea, Liverpool and us, that's the top six, really. I don't think Sunderland will do it. I don't think Palace will do it. I don't think Brighton will do it. I don't think Everton will do it. And if we can beat Newcastle, then it gives us a great opportunity to put a bit of breathing space between us and sort of kill their hopes a little bit. Whereas if we lose, we've obviously got to go there later on in the season as well. So we're opening the door to a rival here. So, look, it's a bit like Nelson's column. If you've ever been to London, Trafalgar Square, there's a big, massive column with Nelson on the top of it, and it's made of concrete. And it's not progress. It's just stood there like a bloody big concrete cock. And that's United. I feel like we're not moving, and we need to move. And I don't, somebody said, what happens if we lose this game? Well, if we lose the game, that would be 2 points from 12 at home. It would be 1 point from 9 in our last 3. Like we can't, I don't like the saying we're Manchester United, but we need to start bloody behaving like a big football club, And tonight is a home game at Old Trafford under the lights. We need to get out there and win tonight. We really, really do. Lineups on the screen for you there. Now we know how good McFred was in our midfield, says Mr. JP. How hard can it be to put Martinez, DM and Yoro at right centre-back, says Mr. Jordan. I am disappointed about that. United Nick says Agate needs to have a good game. If he does the simple things right and passes it into our front three, we can win. Come on, says United Nick. But as we were discussing in the watch-along on Sunday, I remember Troy Deeney saying this about, someone mentioned McFred there. He did an interview many years ago saying that when Fred got the ball and they played for Watford, that was the sign to activate the press because Fred's crap on the ball. And I do feel that Agate is very similar. I think when Agate gets the ball, teams activate their press because he's not very good on the ball. So you say, I hope Agate can have a good game and feed the front three. I hope he can just get the ball and pass it to somebody else. Because one thing I've noticed about Agate this season is he loses the ball in dangerous positions because he gets caught in possession. So let's hope he can just get the ball and give the ball to somebody else. I think that in itself would be progression, quite literally, for United. Captain tonight should be Casemiro. I'd be very surprised if... Oh, it's Martinez. Martinez is the captain tonight. So, yeah, I don't know why he gave it to Delo on Sunday when Martinez came on at half-time, but Martinez is the captain tonight, which is actually a positive move. I just wish he was playing in the midfield, so I'm happy about that. Would have loved to have seen Cunha and Pogba celebrating together. I predict to win on your behalf, Mark. I believe in Shea Lacey. Kids the truth, says St. Blanco. Thank you very much. Aaron Watson says meow, meow, meow. Very harsh, that. Not very nice. Sebas says, I've only just got here. What are your overall thoughts? My overall thoughts on that team that's just gone past there, I'll put it back on the screen. My overall thoughts are that I would have dropped Agate, I'd have put Martinez next to Casemiro, and I would have started Yoro. And that, to me, was the logical thing to do. But logic and Amorim very rarely seem to align. He always seems to do something that's got his fingerprints on it. And fair play. If it works, I don't think many people picked that team. So if he gets it right, that's why he's manager of Manchester United. However, obviously, for me, I would have done it a little bit different, But thank you very much. United make more clothing lines than transfers, says Carlo. And the problem Agate has with the ball, says Andre, are the same he had in PSG. This one is on the recruitment. Newcastle bench looks a lot stronger, says Fairway 5. We need to be 1 or 2 up before the second half changes. It's a good point, that, because when you think about it, the turnaround of games isn't that big. They played Saturday, we played Sunday, and it's Friday. But there are a lot of games. We're playing on Tuesday, we're playing the following Sunday. So we have got a lot of games going on here. What did you think about this quote from Amorim, by the way? If I could go back to this time a year ago, I would do things so differently. I've learned more in this year as a manager than the other 5 combined. I would do 75% of things different. Loads of people have come out saying, I love that. The honesty of the manager to reflect on past mistakes. But what mistakes is he talking about? Is he saying he wouldn't have sold Anthony, he wouldn't have sold Rashford, or is he saying I wouldn't have played a 3-4-3? But we recruited you to play a 3-4-3, so I don't really know what mistakes he's talking about. You know, we appointed him to play 3-4-3. Are you saying you'd have come in and not played 3-4-3? Because 75% is a lot of mistakes, as United Nick says. So, yeah. Fancy a curry in Morrison's car park, says Ryan. You know, it does sound appealing, but we have got a match to watch. Welcome to Members Club, Super Doodle. Appreciate you. I missed those days when where fans knew we were very likely going to win games like today. Come on, show us some desire, says Sander. United make more, done that one as well. Thank you very much. A few more quotes from Amorim as well. 5 academy players on the bench. They're ready to help the team. We have a short squad to give the kids an opportunity. They're really proud to be here. If we need, they will be on the pitch. Also says that Martinez is captain. We made a list at the beginning of the season. Martinez was on that list. He's going to wear the armband, but everyone needs to step up because Bruno is not here. I'm referring to Bruno again, mate. He's not bloody Lionel Messi, and he's not Cristiano Ronaldo. He's, you know, you've got to learn. You can't just keep mentioning Bruno. I mean, the last 3 interviews he's mentioned Bruno. Like, we know Bruno's injured. He's a footballer. You know, you've got to have an ability to play without him, and I'm hoping that we can do that tonight because we can't. I rate Bruno. I think he's a good player. But I don't think he's like, let's fucking down tools and cry because he's not available. We need to be, you know, we've got to put, there's no, I feel like we're almost setting ourselves up for an excuse. And we're at Old Trafford. We pay a lot of money to these players. We should be able to win without Bruno Fernandes. Imagine after surgery, your surgeon says, I wish I did 75% of things differently, says Shahin. You know what? I haven't really got time tonight, but I do want to talk about it tomorrow. I think when you've got a manager that's saying, after his first year, I've got 75% of things wrong, you sort of like think, yeah, but you're not managing Macclesfield, mate. You're managing Man United. I mean, what am I supposed to do with that? So you're telling me that the last year, 75% of it's been a big fucking waste of time because you fucked up? You know, I think it's a lot of errors to make, and it just showed. But it's not his fault. I think it shows the Ineos appointment of him was naive, because he clearly wasn't ready for the job, was he? He's admitted himself, I wasn't ready for this job. You know, if I'd known what I knew a year ago, I'd have done 75% things differently. But look, that conversation's for another day, because if he wins today, no one gives a shit. Plenty of flags in the Stretford end, loving all that. A real welcome addition this season. Players walking out onto the pitch. After that 75% quote, he has to go, says Keel. Look, Keel, the reason I sort of threw it in there is because I think it's a major statement that some people want to sweep under the carpet, but there's a lot of people on social media tonight saying, this guy's our manager, and he's just admitted he's fucked up the last year because he got more than half of it wrong. How, you know, it's how you interpret it, isn't it? Dakota says, do you really think we scouted Amorim in his system, or do you think United just knew City were in? I think that. I don't think we scouted his system. I think we thought he's a good manager. He'll do a good job here, but I don't think we looked at why he was a good manager. Maybe Europa League final, substitution, and Grimsby says, I am the big B. Saprokia, welcome to the Members Club. Thank you very much. And Tom Kent says, it's great to see you, mate. Going to watch England, Uruguay in March. I wouldn't spend a penny on United. Spin club, making things better than they are. Get a win tonight, and it's a good result, Tom. Worse than a Maverick is someone trying to be one, says Fraser. We complain about Bruno playing out of position, but want a defender that hasn't played in months to play in midfield, says Carlos. Doesn't work, Carlos, sorry. Bruno Fernandes plays in the midfield when we've got other midfielders fit. Martinez would be playing in midfield because we haven't got anybody else. Happy St. Stephen Days from Waterford. You're one of the greatest YouTubers ever. Love, Bella. Oh, lovely message, Bella. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Hope you're having a great St. Stephen's Day from my Irish days, which is Boxing Day here. Right, please do share the video if you're watching. We're very close to kickoff here now. We're only 2 minutes away. Bottom right-hand corner to subscribe as well. Get involved with the United Stand. United might not be up to much in 2026, but we've got some very exciting stuff to reveal to you early in the year. So make sure you're involved, subscribed, and getting involved. And please do share the video. All the best to everyone at United Stand and our community, says Luke. Well, let's deflect all that best stuff towards Manchester United tonight, because Although we have got Wolves next Tuesday, and that should be 3 points, and maybe Leeds and Burnley could be another 6 points, I think winning tonight's really important. You know, beating Wolves at home, everyone's going to expect to do that. Beating Burnley away, everybody's going to expect to do that. But Newcastle at home, if you really want to be a European club next season, these are the sort of games you've got to win. Because remember, we've got to go there in the second half of the season. I blame the Glazers. If he comes out and says the truth, he will just sack himself. He's just telling us that he will change due to lack of backing, says United Forever 84. Thank you very much. Loving the Macclesfield shout out. Up the Silkman, says Richard Whiting. No worries, pal. Hope you're doing very well. Thank you very much. Thanks for all the super chats tonight as well. If you want to do that, you can do that through the $sign. We are very close to kickoff here, and let's hope it's going to be 3 points to United. Nothing massively against Newcastle, just don't like Alan Shearer and his smugness. And every time they beat us, he's always there with a flat cap on, with a, you know, going like that. And yeah, just be nice to beat them. Have that Anton Deck as well. So look, Anthony Gordon, the cameras are on him. Good player. They've got a very good midfield. We've got to start well here. I think Newcastle, as somebody said, have got a very, very good bench. And that could be problematic for us because we don't. We've only got kids. And I mean, it's great bringing the kids on when you're 2 or 3-0 up, but bringing them on when you're not. Some very experienced heads in that Newcastle midfield. And it looks like Newcastle are going to go with a possession kickoff. I mean, hang this in the Louvre. Oh, no. Maybe they are going to go long. Yeah, they are. I thought for a minute they weren't going to go long from the kickoff, but they have. Up and running there. Delo wins the header. Mason Mount. Go on. Anthony Taylor, the ref. Looks like Dorgu might be playing on the right here, so keep an eye on it maybe being a back four. Delo's definitely, it's a back four. It's a back four. Dorgu's playing right wing. Back four, Dorgu right wing. Spotted that straight away. So Luke Shaw's left back. Luke Shaw's left back. And Martinez left centre back. Heaven right centre back. Midfield 3 is Mount. And Cunha's playing off the left. Dorgu on the right. And then Casemiro and Agate. So look, that's going to lead to a lot of people being very excited. But remember, this is a manager that plays 3-4-3 who has abandoned his way of playing already. We recruited this guy to play a 3-4-3. He's now playing a 4-3-3. Look, let's hope it works, but it is a little bit, it's exciting, but it's also confusing because I'm sort of like, I'm still lost on, I have my principles and and not even the Pope's going to make me change. And here we are playing a back four at Old Trafford. When Mark says thank you very much, he's saying he doesn't agree and thinks you're dumb. He doesn't care about our opinion, says James. Okay, right. Merry Christmas, mate. Called it, says Mrs. Stone, and hopefully 3 points. I believe in a Cunha masterclasses or loving the Mac. Well, look, I think it's going to be interesting with a back four because corner to United here. It's going to be interesting with the back four because Luke Shaw's playing left back, which I don't think his body can deal with unless he's been faking it for 3 years. You're asking Luke Shaw to go back and forward down the left-hand side. You've got Dorgu playing right wing, which he did do for Lecce. You've got Cunha playing on the left. You've got a back four. So it's interesting. It's going to be very interesting to see how this pans out. Anyway, corner to United here. Not a lot of height. Having said that, you got Casemiro, you got Dorgu, and Casemiro there, probably our biggest threat. Wins the header, but it's over the bar. January, we need Bale and Fabregas. Moyes has to be backed, and we have to trust the process. Fellaini can't play the double pivot, says Jack Alexander. And Aaron says, I tend to agree with you, but Agate and Bruno was the best the midfielders looked. Agate only looked poor once pushed back to be the creative role, says Aaron. Thank you very much for that. Merry Christmas, Madry Bridge. May the Melbeck be plentiful in 2026, says Porto. Well, Merry Christmas to you as well. If that is a back four, I'll give him some credit, says Keel. It is definitely a back four. You can see it, 100%. Would you take Endo at United, says Noah? Probably not. It'd be interesting to see, though, because I don't know whether Newcastle would rather be playing against the back four or not. Merry Christmas, anyway. Lightforce says it could be a disaster loading. It could be a masterclass loading. Is it just a back four out of possession, says Daz. No. I think we have done that, but I think this does look like a back four to me. It'll open the game up a little bit more. Back four only during the AFCON, I reckon, says Francis. Yeah, but that doesn't work. If we go back to a 3-4-3 when the players come back from the AFCON, but, again, I think it's a big risk to abandon what you're all about and then go back to what you were about. A lot of people want this. I need a T-shirt that says Free Amorim. He is stuck between player power and greedy owners, says the super sub. Back four, yeah, okay. Well, let's see how it goes. We're definitely still keeping the back four when Newcastle have the ball. Salmenu and keeper Garte thoughts, says Daka. And your daily Brexit says, I'm only here because I have bet. Man United win, let's go, UTV. This team is desperate, need of a Vidal and a Herrera, says Free. It's Christmas time. There's weird comments in the chat. Played by Martinez. Maybe Amorim will switch the formation mid-game as a tactical point and go between the two formations, says Ross Stephen. And Jack says, Merry Christmas, Mark. Hope you and the family are all good. Loved watching United alongside you this year. Looking forward to many more. Thank you very much, pal. And Merry Christmas to you, Jack. I tell you what, we've just gone to the cameras, Bruno Fernandes there. I'd imagine he'd be looking at this system thinking to himself, I'd actually bloody love to be playing where Mason Mount is as the 10. Good play by Heaven. Does a 3-5-2 not make more sense to switch to, says Dimitri. Crizzo says it's 100% a back three currently. Mason Mount's very animated here. I think the ball to Mason Mount is on a lot and he's not getting it. Apparently Eddie Howe's won 5 of his last 6 games against Man United. Now, I didn't know that. JL says, my wife left me over Christmas. Mark, any advice? Without the details, it's hard to know. Good tackle there by Agate. That'll give him a bit of confidence. And well won back by Sesko. Good midfield battle going on at the moment. Slow Sports News is in the chat. Hope you're doing well, mate. Happy, not happy, who cares? This squad needs to turn up tonight. Evening, Mark. Hope you had a good Crimbo. You too, pal. And the Moose one says, Heaven is my favourite player. I'm being biased. We need to keep possession. I don't think Cunha is left wing. We have 2 cams, says Shahin. I disagree. Someone's going to have to drift out to the left. Otherwise, the left back will get double teamed by Miley and Murphy. So, yeah, he's definitely playing off the left-hand side, Cunha. He'll drift in, but, yeah. I kind of don't like 4-3-3 because Mbeumo and Ahmed won't be able to play together. And that's entertaining and United are all about that, says Ezra. Looks like Ramsdale might be injured here, hamstring. Become a member of the United Stand and get an occasional free super chat like this free. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you all, says Mandolin. Thank you, pal. Hope you and the fam had a good Christmas, mate. Glad to see Martinez starting. Would have preferred him in the CDM role, says George. And Jack Alexander says there's a young lad named Pogba in the academy. Would put a better shirt in than Anderson, says Jack. Okay, I don't know what all this weirdness is, but I just won't read anymore. The position Mount is playing is perfect for him. He played there at Derby and he was perfect there. Finally nice to see him play it again, says Minnie. Thank you very much, pal. Thanks for your super chat. Not sure watching United football after being left will help after being set left, sadly, says Dakota. Looks like we're going to get up and running again here. Thanks everyone who's watching. Merry Christmas. Please do share the video. Ramsdale looks like he's going to play on here. Maybe it was a bit of a tactical break there, somebody in the chat said. Why not start Lacey if it's a 4-2-3-1, says Mohammed. Where would you start Lacey? Like, you've got Mount, Cunha and Sesko. I mean, with the best one in the world, it's a perfect way to... Agate gets blocked off there. Luke Shaw with the cross. Volta made a good turn, but we'll win that back, Casemiro. Yeah, I don't think Lacey would be starting the game. Could have been a tactical break from Newcastle just to figure out and adapt to what United are doing. Well done, Mason Mount there. Lewis Hall getting into all sorts of trouble. Dorgu. Oh, that should be 1-0. Oh, why is no one attacking that there? It's a lovely cross by Dorgu, and I just don't get why no... That's just there to be tapped in. That's anticipate. I mean, that's a lovely cross by Dorgu. Puts it right into the right area, and I just don't know why he doesn't lay it off to Cunha there. Cunha's right. Just lay it off to Cunha. Lovely ball in by Dorgu. Just lay it into the path of Cunha there. As a 4-3-3, Lacey fits in over Dorgu on the right, says Ezra. I'm happy just to bring Lacey on. I mean, you know, we can't expect these players to just... go instantly into the team as kids. Like, we need the points today. It's going to be a corner to Newcastle. Bruno's flaws would have been covered up in this system. Same with Casemiro due to the extra legs. No idea we're only trying this now, says Maxim. That's what I mean. I think if this system works, he's got to stick with it. You can't go back to your 3-4-3. What's he trying to do with Dorgu and Delo on the right, says Saj. Well, he's playing a 4-3-3, isn't he? So Dorgu's playing as the right winger ahead of Delo. First corner for Newcastle here. Tonali will be on it. Not sure what Newcastle are like on corners, to be honest with you, but they have... they've got aerial threats like Voltameda. He's very good on crosses. Tonali's cross is interesting. And nearly a goal for Newcastle there. It would have been sloppy. And Cunha gets robbed of the ball there. Lovely play by Hall. Lovely ball in as well. Murphy up against Delo. Just stand him up. And that'll be another corner. But they nearly scored from the corner themselves, Newcastle there. I think Bruno Guimaraes gets the little flick on the front post. Everyone's sleeping. And it's Lamens who makes a good save, to be fair. I mean, nobody ends up marking Bruno Guimaraes. He just runs to the front post. Let's see what happens this corner. They've gone short this time. It's a good cross by Murphy. Second ball, Miley. Where's somebody on the edge? And Dorgu's gone down with a head injury. Moose One says, the last play is the definition of our mentality. Too many selfish players. Honestly, I believe they all pretend to be dominant when not one of them could be working together. If this is a back four, is this confirmation we're not getting players in January? Amorim probably realised changing formation is his only option. Could be right, Keel. Thanks for your super chat. Still loving the great channel, Mark. Let's do this tonight, says Del. Let's hope so. My mate Huzzy is having gill problems. Any advice? Again, need more information. What are the gill problems? Like he might have body odor problem. Get some Lynx Africa, you know. Dorgu's okay. Drop ball. Newcastle pick it up. I think this will be quite a tight game tonight, by the way. I don't think... It's not like playing Everton or West Ham or Bournemouth. I don't think we're, on paper, better than Newcastle. So, I'm not saying we couldn't win it 2 or 3-0, but if we did, it would be very impressive. I think this is going to be a... this is going to be a very challenging game tonight. Could go either way. Just joined. Anything happened so far, says Mr. Sausage? Not really. I mean, Newcastle have probably had the best chance from the corner. Having said that, I think a good cross by Dorgu, and if Sesko had been aware, he could have laid it off to Cunha, and I'd have fancied him to score. Yeah, there's a lot of people going on in the chat about Sesko. Look, he's a prospect. You can argue about whether we should be buying prospects. I actually think it's way too early to, you know, be saying he's crap, because it's the same thing that people say about Agate, etc. And sorry, not Agate, Yoro and Dorgu. They're young players and they can get better. They, you know, I'm certainly not going to be in. I'm certainly not up for writing Sesko off, but obviously he's not the finished article. I think it's going to be refreshing to see United have to fight with no Bruno saviour, receive the ball and think, I've got to do something here, says Teddy Bear. Connor Dunn, welcome to the Members Club. Thank you very much. Newcastle do like to press the ball, though, so we've got to look for that long ball sometimes, which Lemens played there. Well played, Casemiro. Oh, no, he's given the foul. I think that Lewis Hall is an interesting player. Mount's done it once already. But I think it's an interesting one with Lewis Hall because he does try to be quite attacking with the ball. But that means you sort of know he's not going to pass. So if you pressure him, it's an opportunity to win the ball back. Had the wrong timer on there. Be careful in the box here. Get rid of it, Luke. Get rid of it. But Newcastle just having a good bit of possession here. We have had more possession than them, but it just feels like Newcastle are in a phase here. Brian says we all hate Leeds. Thank you very much for your super chat. Well, we're playing Leeds, aren't we, a week on Sunday? Wolves. Oh, lovely ball by Newcastle there. They're getting some good possession. Ramsey, Delo, just boot it clear. The foul. You've got to be careful here. Accumulation of fouls, Agate. He's trying to be busy. He is trying to be busy, but he's got to be careful. Dayat says we need to calm down a bit. I thought we had a good first 5 minutes, but I think since that Ramsdale injury, they've there's been a tactical shift, and maybe that Ramsdale injury was for that reason. Oh, Newcastle, he will keep that in. And it's a corner. They're dominating us at the moment. What's going on here? It's almost like we've caught them cold with the 4-3-3 and they've made one switch and they're just getting hold of the ball. Happy Boxing Day from New Jersey. Let's fight Red Devils. The Slope. Happy Boxing Day, pal. Hello, Mark. Bettered with my uncle. Come on, United, says Mamba. That's a good cross again. Dorgu heads it away. Mount's going to have to work hard there and wins the throw-in. Well done. Would you take Hall at United, says Ken? Well, yeah, I would, because I think our best left-back's Luke Shaw, and I don't think he can play there in the long term. This is where we can be dangerous. Go on, Cunha. Good, good, good. Oh, no. It's that midfield battle, isn't it? I think we do make a progress, and then that's a good tackle. Agate, he's given a foul. I just wonder how far Agate is going to be from a yellow card here, because he keeps getting fouls. I'm not sure this even was a foul. It's one of those. It's a little bit soft. Very stop. Anthony Taylor's a very stop-start referee, though, and I don't know that that necessarily helps us. Wolves twice in a month. Don't mind if I do, says Seb. Well, the problem with that is we don't play them again in 2026, so we've got our 6 points. I just wanted to wish everyone a happy new year in the community, says Ivan. A little bit early, but he says, I hope everyone is blessed this upcoming year. Whatever happens today, I won't be too bothered with Amorim. It's kind of like a new manager with a new system, says Shahin. I think, mate, if we lose this game, I will be bothered about Amorim, because I'd be saying, why is a manager a year in changing his principles of what he's all about and then still losing? I think if you're going to play the 4-3-3, you've got to show us something, surely. It's a good play. And it's another corner. They're all over us at the moment. They really are. I'm on the Birra Moretti tonight. I've had all sorts today. I had a Madri earlier. Then I had went down the pub and I had Campo, whatever it is. And now I'm on the Birra Moretti. Another corner. They've gone short again. Tonali is going to dink this into the back post. We've got to be strong. And Lamens is there to pick it up. And he's gone long to Dorgu, but Hall is there and wins the free kick. Merry Christmas, just tuned in, says John. How is it? Well, Merry Christmas, everybody. You might have us on in the background while you're playing a bit of cards or Monopoly or whatever you're doing. Some of you just watching. Look, 21 minutes has gone very quickly. To be honest, I thought the first 5 minutes really good. And it's coincidental, but Ramsdale went down with a hamstring injury that disappeared. But in that time, since then, Newcastle have been dominant. And I do just think, is it just... they've tactically switched things up because ever since that Ramsdale injury, they've been in control. But look, it's still 0-0. Can still get a goal on the break. What's your prediction tonight after what you watched so far, says Jack? I don't do predictions on the United stand. I can't be arsed with all the jinx and all that lot. A lot of people talking about Delo in the chat. Come on, you've got to contest that ball. You can't just leave a Newcastle defender to step out from the back and head it. Not winning a lot of second balls here. Hitting a lot along. Well done, Sesko. That's good feet. Run at him. And that'll be a throw in. Better. Good shot by Cunha. That's what we need. You know, if we're not going to be, if we're not going to have a lot of the ball, then we've got to certainly be a threat when we do get it. And that's nice by Cunha. To be fair, Dorgu on the back post was completely unmarked, but I don't think he's got any knowledge of that. Hope you're well, Mark. Much love and all the best, says Owen. And to you too, pal. Gaz has given us a $20 super chat. He says, just wanted to say thanks for everything you and the staff do. Love the community. Let's get 3 points. Come on, United. Merry Christmas, says Gaz. Dorgu! Oh, what a goal! Well, Gaz, what a time to say that! What a hit by Dorgu! I've told you this lad has to be given time. I've told you this lad can be a prospect. And out of absolutely nothing, that is a Christmas cracker by Dorgu on his left foot. We weren't really in the game. For the last 20 minutes, we've done sod all. And it comes loose on the edge of the box. And it's a Christmas cracker from Dorgu who volleys it in to the bottom corner. And I think he shut up a lot of people there. What a hit by Dorgu. And Manchester United lead 1-0. Let me have a look at this again. It's a screamer. It's headed out to the edge of the box. On the volley. Bang. Well, I don't know why they're pausing this. They seem to pause that for a long time. I don't know. I hope we're not looking at any offside here. Nah. Yeah, he can't see that, but he can't. It's not Cunha because he can't see it. That's 100% a goal. I was going to say for a moment there, I thought they were going to try and say Cunha was in the way. It's an absolute screamer by Dorgu. Man United 1-0 up here. Literally was just saying that. You know, Newcastle have been the better side, but it doesn't mean you can't go and get something against the run of play. And it all came from Cunha's run. And that'll just, you know, that'll put a pin in Newcastle's momentum here and just make them realise, you know what, we're 1-0 down. And it might just give us a little bit of a boost. Because for 20 minutes, we were definitely not really in the game. But it just shows you can get something out of nothing. And we certainly did. That is an absolute worldie by Dorgu. Smashes it into the bottom corner. What a wonder left foot. And United lead 1-0. But let's see what... I think it's really important the next few minutes that we get on the ball a bit here. That was class. Well timed, Gaz, as well. Gary Neville said about the tactics already. Hall was running around when Ramsdale was down, says Lord. Dorgu says Quantum. Here's Anthony Gordon. You've got to double up against him. And Delo gives up a... That went miles out. Yeah, corner. I was going to say, even I could see that. Corner to Newcastle. Dorgu says Mike Royce. Let's see what happens from this corner. Tonali on it, but United leading after 26 minutes. And that's edge of the box. And it's an opportunity to break. And there's, look at the pace of Sesko here. We've got a 4v3. Come on, use it. Still got it. Luke Shaw. Dorgu again. And Ramsdale catches that. Probably could have moved that one a little bit better, I think. Could have moved that one a little bit better, but a good break from United. Jinx it and give her predictions as Lord Hankett. I'm not, definitely not. Newcastle assistant, main character delusion, this guy, says Peter. It will hurt him, but I don't even know what his name is. It's Eddie Howe, and I know who you're talking about, but I don't know what his name is. Stoke United to Saga. Oh, mate, I've seen everybody in the chat talking about it. If you want me, if you're such a moron that you think that goals like that are something we can build a future on, you're an idiot. It's an absolute worldie of a goal, but it won't happen every week, will it? You know, literally, it's a goal out of nothing, and that's why I called it a goal out of nothing. It's an absolute worldie. that comes from a long throw-in that's been headed away. If you're celebrating long throws, you're a footballing peasant. I can't help you. It's a brilliant goal, but you can't really say that that's constructed from a long throw-in. It's just a worldie. It's a bit like saying the worldie that Paul Scholes scored against Villa at Villa Park was constructed. It was a corner into the box that got cleared and he volleyed it, you know? I would focus on the brilliant finish by Dorgu, but if you're getting a hard on because long throw-ins work, I mean, we're Manchester United. I'm not gonna give any glow up to Delo running to the other side of the pitch to do a long throw-in. I fucking hate it. And how many throw-ins has he chucked into the box for us to score one from? About 50? Can't remember. The last one he did was Brighton. He's done about 40 long throw-ins since then. All this jinx bollocks, sod it. If it's real, Mark, jinx me winning the next Powerball lottery here in New York. All this jinx rubbish, do me a favour, says Quantum. Gary's acting a prat again, says Alan Noonan. Well, I need more than that, Alan. Let me know. Long throws are the future, Mark, says Chris. Well, only if you're a peasant. Some of us think it's shit football. Which throw is worse, throw up or long throw in, says Quinton. Look, it's a brilliant goal, but I'm not giving Delo credit for throwing it into the box. It was a clearance, a bad clearance, and Dorgu's wellied it, you know? If you like throwing a ball into the box and causing confusion and you think that's football, fill your boots. I think it's shit. Come on then, let's use this again. Through the Newcastle press, into Luke Shaw. He's got to get a good cross in. No. Bit of height there. Dakota says, Dorgu looks like a different player on the right wing. Well, he played on the right. He was playing on the right wing before we bought him. This time last year, he was playing on the right wing in Italy. I mean, obviously he can play left back, but he has played right wing before. So half an hour gone, Man United 1-0 up. Look, to be honest, Newcastle haven't really created much. The goal is certainly what you would call a moment goal, but it's given us some confidence here. And, I think in a game like this, I said in the preview, it was always going to be tight. So, this game, look, I don't know whether it will, but this game could easily finish 1-0. I think both teams are quite evenly matched and we've not had an abundance of chances in the first half an hour. So a worldie to separate the two teams could be what separates the two teams. Good play by Cunha here. He's bullied off Miley into the box, cuts it back. It'll go for a corner. He's having a good game, Cunha. Almost like he's been set free, isn't it? J-Dead says, long throw, Delo off the pitch. Well, we've got another corner here, Mason Mount. Isn't it amazing as well? Isn't it a Christmas miracle how Mason Mount and Luke Shaw never get injured anymore? I mean, look, I don't know the reason for it, but it's incredible how injury prone they were, and now they just don't get injured at all. Amorim actually isn't playing 3-4-3, not sure about it, says Jacob. Merry Christmas, could you say hi to Samir, says Danny. Thank you very much. I predict a 2-1 win to Man United, says the Moose one. I'd like to get the second goal. I don't like it when we defeat. I don't like to be in the second half defending a one-goal lead, as we've seen numerous times this season, whether it's home or away. In the second half, it can be a problem. So I definitely would like to see us get 2 in front. That's good by Sesko. That is very good by Sesko. And it's good by Mount. Into Cunha. Nicely into Dorgu. We could do with this finishing with a shot. Ramsdale makes the save. It was good play by United. That all comes from Sesko nodding it down. And quick feet. Our long throw-in's not just as effective as a well-placed corner, says David. No. Maybe slightly early, but I worry for the second half. Mount has been good, but he surely can't keep pace for 90, and Shaw will be dead in this setup, says Slath. Dorgu looks amazing on the ball and composed. Thank you very much, Mr. Scally. Well, here he is. He's got Delo on the overlap. He needs to put that cross in. Refuses it. Back into Mount. Nice little ball, but well read. Goes for a throw-in. Another long throw-in. Lord Harkey says, I do not like long throws, but do you think in some scenario that it can be a defence under pressure? The thing is, the long throw-ins don't work. Like they win them all the time. It's just Dorgu was on the edge of the box to volley it, you know? Well played, Heaven. Eddie Howe out, lads, says Rub. We're actually playing decent football, says Nath. I don't think we have played that well, Nath. I think for 25 minutes, Newcastle were on top. We got a throw in, we scored from it, and then since then we've done quite well. I think the goal has given us some confidence. But I think the last 5 minutes has been good, but I don't think we were playing very well before the goal. But we seem to have settled down now. We're keeping the ball well. Need to do something with all these corners. Could regret all these chances, says Sir Galahad. Here's Agate. Luke Shaw, put the cross in. Put the cross in. We seem to be reluctant to put a cross in it. I mean, it's weird, isn't it? We've seen Delo and Luke Shaw in the last 2 minutes refuse to put the cross in when you've got Sesko in the box. Cunha goes for a shot early, wide. David, welcome to Members Club. Thank you very much. And Shahin says, I like the formation, but Cunha and Dorgu are not wide enough. We're too compact with the ball. We should spread out. And Biggest Ball Knowledge says, what is your thoughts on the four at the back? Also, Dorgu looks like a brand new signing. And Ivan says, with all the injuries to our back line, do you think with all the scoring we've been doing lately that when Delit and everyone else get healthy, we can make a big push up the standings? Keith K, welcome to the Members Club. I'll answer the back four question. Look, I like Man United in a back four. My big concern is we didn't appoint a manager who plays a back four. So Ten Hag was a back four manager and he got sacked. So I don't know. I mean, we've got a manager here who's learning on the job. If he goes to a back four, he's learning a whole new system on the job, which means that we didn't actually scout Amorim properly, does he? But look, I think if we can win this game playing this formation, then he's got to stick with it. I would be hugely against us going back to a 3-4-3 if we can beat Newcastle playing a back four. What would be the point? And all it really would show is that Ineos appointed a manager without actually backing him or understanding what he was all about, and he's had to change to suit us. But I think most of us would love Manchester United to be playing a back four. Cyber Spider says, I'm not going to jinx it. It's Christmas miracle. Isn't it amazing how Shaw and Mount just don't get injured anymore? How was your Christmas? I've been ill myself. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, Cyber. I know some people do get ill over Christmas, but yeah, good one, mate. I mean, I'm enjoying it, and hopefully it will be even better if we can win this game. Luke Shaw at centre-back equals no injuries, says Niki. Hyan says, have you become a victim of low attention span since you have TikTok account? I don't go on TikTok, mate. I don't run my TikTok. Has Dorgu been misprofiled by Amorim? He's electric, says Cooper. I think when you look at young players, there's always less pressure when you're playing as an attacker. Dakota says, I'm enjoying Agate today. Looks more composed. And Mandolin has gifted 10 memberships. Mandolin, you're an absolute legend. Thank you so much. Thanks very much for that. Make sure you do a W for that. Citizen says, do you like Foden's haircuts? Not the place, not the time. And no. Imagine if we could win this game, though. Wolves at home on Tuesday and then Leeds and Burnley away. It would be huge for us. If we could go on a bit of a running speed, especially without Bruno as well. I mean, I'm not saying that means Bruno needs to be dropped, far from it, but it would be a huge statement to be able to win a game of football or win a few games of football without Bruno in the team. It shows a real sense of, well, it'd be a real achievement. Well done, Martinez. Mrs. Stone says, not to be that girl, but maybe he's making the best out of what he has. Maybe he's changed because he doesn't have the players for his system. Oh, well, 100%. You know, it's a good point, but it's not one that we don't all know. I mean, as he said in his interview, you know, I can't play my system because I haven't got the time and I haven't got the players. Whose fault's that? So nice to have the butcher back. We've missed him, says Luke. Yeah, very composed player. Just for me with Martinez, it's just all about, I know he's a good player. It's all about whether he can stay fit. Well done, Dorgu. Really strong. There's Agate again, giving the ball away. We'll win it back with Casemiro. How many games did we score first this season and end up losing or just getting a draw? Would love to see that stats of that, says Chris. No, Sesko, you can't be losing the ball there, mate. Oh, lovely cross by Murphy. He has got a very good cross on him, but luckily no one got a touch on it. Eddie Max says, happy Christmas, Mark, to you and the family. Last time I told you about my mate dying, you gave me back my super chat. Thank you. You're a part of all our lives. Watch you every day. Appreciate what you do. Thank you, Eddie Mac. I hope you've had a good Christmas, pal. And thanks for being part of this great community. Yeah, he's a danger, that Murphy. He's got a lovely, I mean, that's a lovely cross. He's got a lovely cross on him. XV9 says, first they complained about Amorim's system, now they'll moan about him abandoning his philosophy. Let's just wait and see. Rook has gifted 5 memberships as well. Thank you, pal. And possibly we didn't get Amorim because of a particular formation. We got Amorim because Amorim is the man. This is grand. Be a bit of a weird one. Do you like Agate in this system, says Odd. Keith says, I've just updated my details but still came up as a new member. Thank you very much. Some shaky football, but the team looks confident, says Alec. And Shaney says, am I tripping or are we playing good football? I think it's been, look, in all honesty, when you're winning 1-0 at home against a decent side, the best way to be is positive. But the proper analysis of the game would be a worldie has separated the two sides. United have probably shaded the half so far. But for about 20 minutes, we weren't really even in it. So I think the goal has helped us. And Dorgu's had an amazing half. But as I said, I think it's you know, I think it's an easier role to be an attacker as a youngster than it is to be a defender, because you know, everything you do as a defender has to be perfect. That one mistake and you get scrutinised. Whereas an attacker, you misplace a pass, you miss a shot, you just move on to the next one, don't you? So, look, Dorgu in this setup is getting a lot of praise. I still think he's a good left back, and I still think he can be a good left back. But you know, the scrutiny is different, isn't it? Ralph says, first time super chatting. Did you have a good Christmas? Very good, mate. Hope you are as well. I like this week between Christmas and New Year where you can just relax a little bit. Bruno wondering how one Hollywood pass is needed, says Hyans. And Alan Noonan, hope you're doing well, Alan, says it's great to see Martinez back, a leader at the right time. And Jerry says Delo would have left Hall cross into the box, Dorgu defending well and giving it his all. And Haddo says, salutations from Florida and the Orlando Red Army. Sadly not at the pub with the fellow supporters. Had to be on shift today, but watching from afar. Love the channel. Much love and, of course, glory, glory, Man United, says Haddo. Thank you, pal. Hope you're doing well. United have taken more points from teams in the top half of the table than the ones in the bottom half. It's a crazy stat. And it's a crazy season, Raul. And didn't Saka start off as a left-back, says Archie. Gareth Bale started off as a fullback. I mean, I'm not saying that Dorgu's going to be the next Saka or Bale, but it can happen. It can happen. Anyway, let's get to half-time first. The Moose says, having Dorgu up top and his intensity to defend is maybe creating a new opportunity for him. Just observing and maybe going forward, we experiment on positions. Xerxes is very good at ball control, confidence outside the box and can pass. Adaptation is the ultimate survival. Last deposit. Thank you, the Moose one. You're a legend. Thank you. Dorgu's been fantastic, says United 2834. Worrying when our main strikers can't get goals, says Eddie Mack. And Mainu's ability would work well where Agate is, says Sam. Obviously injured, so can't play. Arteta slowly throws out Ozil when he started at Arsenal, and eventually it was for the better of the club. Different with Bruno at United, but could something similar happen, says Bart. And Dorgu's giving me off Wan-Bissaka vibes, says Mandolin. Tonali's down injured here. Sorry, going back to what Bart said about phasing out. Sesko's basically trodden on Tonali there. Yeah, there's nothing sinister about that. Be fine. I think it's just a painful collision, but nothing too bad. If we win every game until Bruno comes back, does he come straight back into the team? Says Jack Brown. Yeah, just answering that question, I don't think Bruno Fernandes is ever going to get phased out of this football club. I think it will be, it's very clear that Amorim is going to bring him straight back into the team as soon as he's back. And I don't really have much of a problem with that. I'd just rather he was playing as a 10. No one will give more memberships than me today, says Jabbo. Seriously, do we miss Bruno in this game or at all, says Miki. I think, to be fair, I think Bruno Fernandes could easily be playing where Mason Mount is, and we'd be absolutely fine. But Bruno Fernandes playing where Agate and Casemiro is, I think that's the problem. And I don't think he could do it in a 4-3-3. I think if you're going to play a 4-3-3, if you're going to play a back four, you've got to have two proper midfielders with discipline. And we've got that. Agate and Casemiro are midfielders, no matter what you think about them. And we are playing with some composure in there. So if Bruno was fit, he'd play where Mount is in this team. And I wouldn't have a problem with that. I mean, I don't think Mount's had a bad game, but now we're 1-0 up. We've basically just got to keep that compact shape and counter. 2 minutes added on. Where does Dorgu play when Ahmad and Mbeumo come back? Oh, I knew someone was going to say that, Anna. I don't give a shit, Anna, to be honest. Competition for places. I mean, Dorgu might play shit for the next few games. He's had one good half. So let's build on that, and we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. That's another good cross. We've got to be very careful about Murphy's crosses into the box because he's put a couple in here already. Just tuned in. How they're doing new formations, says Tobias. I think the ref's got a blow here. He's done more than 2 minutes. Rumours on Nuno Mendes wanting a United move, says Reza. I can't understand why that would be. Eddie Max gifted 5 memberships. Thank you very much, Eddie. Happy Boxing Day from Bermuda. United looking like they want to win. Passion's looking good, says Mr. BDA. And wow, Jabo's gifted 50 memberships. And it's right on half time as well. Time for a little bit of a sit down. Lovely stuff. Well, look. We're going to get a lot of people saying, I told you so. United go to a back 4 and we're winning 1-0 against Newcastle and we're looking and we're not using Bruno Fernandes and everybody looks like they understand their role. I mean, there's nobody out there struggling. You know, Aiden Heaven's been very composed at the back. Martinez has obviously come back and given us that composure. Luke Shaw obviously can play left back. Dalot at right back. You've got Casemiro and Agate knowing that they've got somebody next to them that knows what they're doing. Mason Mount, when he's got the ball, has looked comfortable. Cunha's looked dangerous. I mean, Dorgu, obviously, probably the man of the half so far. So, look, very, very good. I mean, look, the one player that's probably, you know, I wouldn't say he's been bad, but Sesko, some good and some bad. But apart from that, I think it's been a good half for Manchester United. Obviously, you know, I'm not gonna say that the goal was constructed in the United way. It was one of those ones. You know, the ball gets cleared, he's there, he volleys it in, it's unstoppable. It's a brilliant goal by Dorgu, and it's only what he deserves. He's been absolutely fantastic that first half out on the right wing. But I think the big conversation really is just how we've clearly gone to a back 4 and how it's worked. Now, obviously, I think there's going to be bigger conversations about that tomorrow and beyond, about, you know, a manager that's literally just done an interview saying he's got 75% of his time here wrong, having to abandon his principles to basically do what we, the fans and the media, want. There is a conversation to be had about that. But I'd rather he abandoned it and beat Newcastle than stuck with it and lost. And, you know, if he's going to stick with it, you know, football's quite simple. Are we saying that he can't play a 4-3-3? I think that would be very, very, very naive. But look, Newcastle haven't really threatened. It was always, I believe, going to be quite a close game. And look, I'm also very aware that we're only halfway there, and we were 1-0. Well, we were 2-1 up against Bournemouth a week and a half ago, and we ended up, you know, nearly losing that game. So there's still a long way to go. The half-time record of winning could come back again. You know, we saw that against Bournemouth. But I think that I wouldn't say it's the best we've played all season. I mean, I think some people run away with it. I'm pleased with it. It's the happiest, it's probably the most comfortable I've been all season, looking at United and seeing a back 4, seeing a midfield 2. You know, I'm not Ruben Amorim. As a Man United fan, I'm more comfortable when I look at a team and I go, there's a back 4. So I've enjoyed that first half more than I've probably enjoyed a lot of our football this season. But I mean, I don't think we've dominated Newcastle. I don't think it's been an amazing first half. I just think it's been a more pleasing first half against what is a good Newcastle side. I know that the league position doesn't necessarily demonstrate that, but for 20 minutes that we couldn't get the ball off them. So I think to be leading this game, it's not like we're playing Burnley at home or Wolves at home. I think we're playing a good side and we're doing quite well, and I wouldn't expect to be dominating them, but we've certainly held our own, and you know, there's some good positives to take from that. The bigger conversation would be if we can win this game and we can beat Wolves and we can beat Leeds and we can beat Burnley. If we can take 12 points from the next 12, big if, playing like this without Bruno, why would you go back to a 3-4-3? You know? I don't know. Hi, Mark. Is Cunha playing as a left wing back and Dorgu playing as a right side number 10? Says Sean. Sean, I don't want to waste seconds on idiocy. We're playing a back 4. Cracking 7 and 8s all round so far. Slightly point. I got the feeling that Cunha doesn't want Sesko to score, given that they may be competing for a place with everyone available, says John. No, I don't feel that. I don't feel that. Wish you a Merry Christmas, says Supreet. And Sesko is not making good runs. A little concerning. Well, that's why I said Supreet. Look, I don't think Sesko's having a bad game, but I think out of everybody on the pitch, he'd probably be my lowest score if I was scoring everyone at half time. Light Switch FC, Mark, nothing to do with the formation, says Rajaf. Let's hope Santa has delivered us all a solid second half performance and not another capitulation. Well, look, that could be problematic. When you look at the bench, they've got Wizard, they've got Joel Linton, they've got Harvey Barnes, we've got a bunch of kids. So it's still only halfway, certainly. Kyle, you're blocked. See you later. I don't think Luke has the legs to be at left wing. That's a sub for us in the second half. We're very disciplined. We need to continue like this. Thank you very much, Luke. And Mark Smith says, let's hope I've done that one. Thank you very much. Let us know your thoughts. Can we see the table, Mark? Says Hyans. I can get that up for you, yes. And Esteban says, in the minority, but I hate the style. It's volleyball. Not a bad watch so far, says Stephen. We haven't lost any game at home on Boxing Day since 1978. I'm praying for a positive result today. Merry Christmas to everyone on the United Stand and Mark and family from Singapore. Thank you, Jaron, and happy Merry Christmas to you as well. Players look free in this formation, says Tony. They understand it. That's what it is. They understand the formation. I don't think it's the formation. It's the light switch, says Rajaf. And Rich86 says, is this not light switch players trying to prove that it was the formation's fault they haven't performed? Happy Christmas. I mean, maybe. Cunha will thrive without Bruno, says Matt. What's your go-to pint at the pub, Mark? I'm not a beer snog, biggest ball knowledge. You know, I'll have whatever, really. Sesko has no Man United striker instinct, regardless of age, says Roosh. And I hope the team doesn't come out in the second half and take their foot off the glass. And the team looks better in a back four with good midfield, says Feeney. Look, I think if we're going to win this game, we're going to have to battle. I don't think Newcastle are the sort of side that's going to, just give up. I think they will fancy their chances and they'll play for 90 minutes, which means we've got to play for 90 minutes as well. Let me just show you the league table. Somebody asked for that as well. So I'll show you that. But there you go. We've had Newcastle have had more possession than us. Again, a low possession Man United performance at Old Trafford. We've spoken about this a lot this season. And you know what? It might be a back four and you might like it. Somebody mentioned Ollie Ball there. I mean, you look at that, 44% possession at home, 56% for Newcastle. But we have had more shots and we've had more shots on target. So look, whether it's counter-attacking football or not, I think we've all established that we play counter-attacking football this season, whether it's a 3-4-3 or a 4-3-3. But we very rarely have over 50% possession in a game. And here we are at home with 44% possession. But look, we've got a goal. We're 1-0 up. And I think we are looking to soak up the pressure and counter, which if we can get the second goal and get the 3 points, I don't think there's going to be a lot of people moaning about counter-attacking football. We are very much about points at the moment. And as you can see, we'd be 5th place, joint with Chelsea and Liverpool. Both obviously got games to come. Liverpool are going to play Wolves, so they're going to go back above us tomorrow. Chelsea play Villa. But look, we've got Wolves on Tuesday, so that's a chance for us to get another 3 points. So a good position to be in as things stand. There's the table for your Heinz. I showed you that. What are the next 4 games? Do we think the guy will get a haircut? We haven't won yet, but I think our next 4 games are Wolves at home, Leeds away, Burnley away, Brighton at home in the Cup. So he could get a haircut. And I don't think Sesko's completely useless, by the way. I think that's a little bit unfair because there has been some good link-up play and he is there for the long ball, which I think is a very important asset when you're playing against Newcastle because they do press Newcastle. So if you can bypass that press and get the ball in, it's a good asset to have. So, let's not start writing Sesko off as useless because I certainly don't think that is the case at all. I think he can have a future at Manchester United. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way, bottom right-hand corner. Thanks everyone for tuning in. It'd be very interesting in the second half, actually, what we do in relation to substitutions, because We don't have much of a bench. It's a very young bench. And as I said, Newcastle's bench is quite strong. I think this game is in the balance. It's been a good half from Manchester United. It's a great goal from Dorgu. He'd be my man of the half so far. Newcastle haven't really created much. I think Heaven and Martinez have worked really well, considering it's the first time. Well, it's not only the first time. Excuse me. It's not only the first time that Dorgu, that Heaven and Martinez have played together. It's also the first time we've played a back four, really. So we look stronger. As funny as it sounds, we look stronger with a centre-back pairing than we do with three. We've really locked Voltemeda down. So hopefully that can continue. I think the biggest threat from Newcastle has been down the left-hand side, Luke Shaw's side. Murphy's crosses into the box, and that's something we need to be very, very careful of. Let's go United. Shout out to Nigeria, says Li. And hi, Mark. I just want to thank you for these streams. I've really struggled with my mental health, and your streams have really gave me some time to relax. What you do is truly wonderful. I love the community and the laughs it can give. Thank you very much, Helly. And you're a massive part of this community. And I'm glad that it helps you, because I know it helps many others as well. So thank you very much for being part of it, mate. And I hope you're doing well. Lupus says 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1. Still option to transition isn't bad. Team can go 3-4-3 if needed at the click of a finger. I just hope Amorim can work towards 4-3-4 long term. Well, he can't do a 4-3-4, mate, because that'll be breaking the rules, because that's 12 players. But 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1, don't give a shit as long as it's a back four, really. You know, it's that recognisable back four that puts a smile on my face, and I'm sure it puts a smile on many of your faces. I don't know whether Amorim should be doing it. I mean, I am conflicted on that. It's not what we bought him here for, and I feel very angry that Ineos brought in a manager that they didn't know anything about, because we've wasted a year on a system that, you know, we're going to abandon. But I can't lie, looking at a United side with an identifiable back four is something very, there's something very comforting in that. My sleep schedule is absolutely wrecked. I'm waking up at 4 a.m. almost every time we play, praying this one is worth the sacrifice. Love from Hong Kong, says the Interceptor. Well, let's hope we're going to get 3 points tonight. And Sound Dog says, never anti-Bruno, but I wonder is it less complicated for them because he's not out there running around trying to do everything, confusing matters. There's a simplicity to what we're doing tonight, and it's been effective. Mount has been quite vocal, especially directing Dorgu to the right spaces. Looks like conscious effort to play leadership role, says WGV. And to the idiots talking about Sesko, says Lecky. His hold-up play has been excellent, getting the ball to Cunha and leading the line very well. Lay off the kid. There you go. And Dark Blue Wolf says, random take. If managers normally don't go into their last season in contract, is Amorim preparing the team for when he leaves in the summer by playing a back four? I hope he stays, but it's just a thought. No, I think Amorim is the long-term manager of Manchester United, and that's the plan. I just think he might be transitioning from what he was all about at Sporting into something very different here. Desiree says, decent first half from United. Cunha and Dorgu, very good first. 15 minutes of the second half will be interesting. Hope they won't concede at the start as usual. And is this formation with the full squad what your starting 11 be, Mark? Says Bradley. Can I get that on the screen and then I can answer that question? So if he stuck with this formation, which is a very big if, and we had everybody available, then I think that you would go De Ligt where Heaven is, still keep Martinez. I mean, I don't think Luke Shaw can do it long term, but Mazraoui right back, Luke Shaw left back. The midfield, you need to buy someone. I don't know that Mainu or Agate can do that role in a two with Casemiro, but I wouldn't use Bruno there. I'd play Cunha where Mount is. I'd play Mbeumo where Cunha is and Ahmad where Dorgu is. And then obviously Sesko. But I'd have to bench Bruno then, wouldn't I? 3-4-3 or 4-4-3-3, you still got to bench Bruno unless you're going to play him next to Casemiro in the midfield too. So, I mean, look, if we play that, it's got to be Cunha where Mount is and then Ahmad and Mbeumo as the wing players. So I've still got to play Bruno next to Casemiro again in a back four. So, when those players come back, it doesn't necessarily solve the problems. But we've got a substitution at half-time here. Fletcher's coming on. So we must have an injury. We must have an injury. Proud father, Darren, and wife, I think. Today we don't need 5 in the back without Bruno. Sorry, I'm just a little bit concerned. Mason Mount off at half-time. Is that an injury then? That's on me. If that's an injury to Mount, that's literally on me, because I was literally saying it's a miracle that they've not been injured. I mean, if he's injured, it's so frustrating. We can't. I know he's a very injury-prone player, but with Bruno out and Ahmad and Burmo away, we really don't need that injury. And I mean, look, it's a real doffing of the cap to Fletcher to put him on when you could have put on Xerxes. So fair play. Probably wants a little bit more defensive work, but you know, that's a bit disappointing because I think Mason Mount did well there, but maybe he can only play 45 minutes. Maybe it's an eye on Wolves. I don't know. Don't know. We won't see the best of Sesko until we start crossing and playing to his strengths. Merry Christmas. Look, my thoughts on Sesko are that I think he's a good player and we're going to have to be patient with him. And all those people writing him off are probably the same people that were saying Dorgu's shit and are now going, I really like Dorgu. So, you know, let's be fair. It's we can't be too harsh on Sesko because I think there are elements of his game that are. You got to get closer. Oh my God! Did he trip? Oh, thank God! I thought Ramsey got tripped. Just clear that, Luke. Wins a throw in as well. Personally think he's implementing the same tactics but in a back formation, says CJ. Yeah, I think Ramsey, he tripped himself up there, thank God. Do you think we would win the league if we had Van Nistelrooy, says Jason? No. Easy question, easy answer. We won't see the... Cunha is what I used to call more than one of them when I was a Rosa, says Jake. And Amorim is undefeated with the back four, says Parker. Micho says, today we see we don't need a back 5 without Bruno. Just sell him. I have enough adapting the team to play him. We play simple football. Need to keep this intensity going in the second half, Mark, says Stewart. Bruno is a genius, but I prefer our attitude when he's not playing. And Keane and Carragher are heaping praise for a change, says Addy Mack. Ash, welcome to the Members Club. Thank you so much. Dorgu looks good and Cunha. We need to sign Sesko competition. He's wasteful, says number 1. Gordon still with a Christmas hangover, says Francis. How cute Jamie is with us playing 4-4-2. I told you so, Pratt, says DJ. Thank you very much. Well, Newcastle have come out quite lively second half. They've upped their intensity. Miley's done well there. And then Luke Shaw commits a foul. Or maybe it was Cunha. Commentator said Mount injury. I feel really bad for the lad, but he's just so unreliable, isn't he? You know, you can't build anything with a player like that. That you just, you know, how can he? I'll say this about Mason Mount, and then we'll move on because we've got a big game. I was told last March he has an injury problem that they cannot get past, and it's always going to be like this. There was talk about him having an operation and being out for 6 months, but I think they've decided against that. They just can't solve the issue. Another great cross by Murphy, but thankfully that's where Sesko shows what he's all about. Agate, that's a terrible pass, you know. And that's brilliant by Martinez. Newcastle have started off on the front foot a bit here. Mount did play 90 minutes against Aston Villa, says Ali Duran. Oh, wow. Oh, fucking hell. And nurses have it hard. Mason Mount played 90 minutes last Sunday. Fucking hell. Yeah, we pay him 250 grand a week. I think he's injured. Amorim is keeping Mount 45 just in case of injury. He needs him, says Leon. Commentator said injury, says Bull with justice. Aldo says, Mason Mount, if that's an injury, it's a shame and needs addressing. If it's tactical, then that's abysmal. Well, I'm sure we'll find out in the fullness of time. Newcastle with a corner here, headed away. Second ball, that should be ours. Another corner. Robster says, we're not going to survive this. Too many corners already. Bench is very weak, says Eddie Mack. We need to spend in January. Bit of a slow start to the second half again, says Shum. We might need a clean sheet to win this today. Oh, again, another corner. Dorgu deflects it wide. Good defending. He got the block on it. Shaw's got weight. I mean, for a centre-back to be controlling that on his chest and getting a shot up, you've got to be a lot closer than that when you think about it. Another cross. Another header away. Well done, Dorgu. He's gone down injured again. Second time in the game there. Brave. Shows he's determined. Oh, I think he's got poked in the eye there. I think he's been poked in the eye. He's all right now. What injury could be keeping Mason Mount down? I forget what it is, Eddie. I think it's a pelvic injury. I think he's got a pelvic injury. I think that's what it is. I think he had it at Chelsea and I think that's what it is. My clock is off. Thank you very much. Let me just see what happens with this. Hopefully it's a goal kick. I think it's another corner. We're under a bit of pressure here, but we were under pressure before we scored in the first half. So hopefully that's a good sign. Let me get this right. Certainly lost a bit of momentum here in the first few minutes. That's an easy header away. Right, here we go. Fletcher. Tonali. Picking up a lot of second balls here, Newcastle. Come on. I worry with a change in formation we'll have an overload of forwards, unhappy bench players or too much rotation while still short in defensive midfield, says Ryan. And Robert McCormack says, I'm a bit worried about our record. You're worrying me now, Robert, because you are normally very, very measured. And you're saying you're worried about our half-time record here. Well, look, we're winning 1-0. They'd have to score 2 at least to beat us, which, whilst Newcastle have had a lot of the ball, they haven't really created many chances yet. So hopefully we can just settle a little bit here. I think losing Mason Mount is going to be a problem. You know, Fletcher is a kid. Sesko is a prospect. Dorgu is a prospect. So there's a lack of experience in the attack. But Robert McCormack says he's worried about our record, and that record he's talking about is that United have never lost a game at Old Trafford when they've been winning at half-time. Came very close to it against Bournemouth not that long ago. I'll tell you what, we're definitely not going to have more than 50% possession today. It's going to be very defensive. And it's all right saying you like the formation, but I like the formation as well, but It's not good football, is it, if you're just going to sit back and defend? Well taken, Lamens. Thanks very much for all your super chats tonight. Absolute legends. Merry Christmas, everybody. Let's hope we can get these 3 points. They're just picking up a lot of second balls here. Oh, God. Sesko there. Slid in on Ramsdale. I thought he was going to get the ball or the man or the player, and he got nothing. Xerxes for Sesko. He has the touch of a trampoline, and he's not offered much up front, says Mr. Scally. We could be way better with a composed player up front. I think we will. I think we will see substitutions anyway, mate. Simply because we've got, you know, a lot of players out at the moment, and we're playing a lot of games. So I think he's got to use the squad. Question for you: if you were to sign one player for Man United, who would it be? Says Edit. Midfielder. You know, realistically, what's available in January? I would take Neves or Gallagher just to give us a little bit of depth. Dream midfielder, probably Elliot Anderson, if I'm being honest. But yeah, it's got to be a midfielder. Goal kick. No press since Mount's gone off, says Stephen. And how long before Ruben and the board hit out with, we don't want to overact in the January window with all these injuries? The club frustrates me, says Jim Jones. Please fix your timer. It's fine, mate. 55:48, 55:50. Insane how important Mount is for our possession stats. For some reason, every time Mount isn't on the pitch, our possession stats change. And it drops like crazy, says Joe. No, it was less. It was 46% at half time. I don't know what it is at the moment because I haven't seen it, but I'd imagine it might have dropped, to be fair. I'll take that back. You might be right. Let me have a look. Yeah, it's gone down by 5%, so you're right. I mean, it was low. 46% possession at home is low at half-time. It's gone down to 41%. But we are playing counter-attacking football. Be nice to get hold of the ball. I mean, I never like United in the second half when it's only a 1-goal lead because we just haven't got a good record of that, home or away, this season. Midfield's not working, says Vine. I mean, there's not a lot we can do in the midfield. There really isn't a lot we can do in the midfield. I think Casemiro and Agate are going to have to do 90 minutes. I can't imagine you're going to pull Martinez out of centre-back and get him to play midfield. I just can't see that happening. So I don't even know what we could do in the midfield from the bench. But look, we've got a good shape here. They're struggling to play through us. Obviously, they've had a few corners. Do you think Agate hate is deserved or an overreaction? I think he's played quite well so far. Look, I think Agate, we spent a lot of money on him and he's not lived up to the hype. But in the context of this game, he's done all right. What's the worst thing about Man United side? In my opinion, I think it's De Ligt. He's slow, says Edits. Okay, we'll just move on from idiot comments like that. We need the second, just one clinical attack. Yeah, if we can get the second goal, Recon, I think it probably, well, you never know. But the second goal, I think, would be very well timed at the moment because it's almost a little bit like that 20 minutes in the first half where we're just not going anywhere. But then we had a couple of breaks. I think we are missing Mount, though. I mean, Fletcher, I'm not going to be critical of any youngster. But here's a break. We're just talking about it. Go on, Dorgu. Unlucky, but There we go. Sesko. Oh, he's at the bar. He was offside. Was he offside? I don't know what happened here. I think he might have been offside. Well, he's on. He's miles on. I don't know what the linesman was thinking there. I know. I think it's a goal kick. He was miles onside. Aiden Heaven, very calm. I think I've been very impressed with Aiden Heaven, Gar. I mentioned it at half time. Very impressed with him. Xerxes on for Sesko after an hour. Anderson Stiller, Gallagher or Baleba. And Yoro's coming on as well. So he's using a lot of subs here. Casemiro. Casemiro's shocked. We're going to a 3-4-3, aren't we? We're going to 3 at the back. So we'll go Fletcher and... I don't know. Keep an eye on this. Back to a back 3. So, Casemiro looked very confused. He didn't even play last Sunday, so it's not a legs thing. You don't need to rest Casemiro for Wolves. So Casemiro off and back to a back 5 is what it looks like. I mean, look, in fairness, we can all moan about it, but it wasn't working well with the 3 anyway. Oh, he's at the bar. Hall, what a shot. Under a bit of pressure, United. Yoro heads it away. And Lewis Hall, another block. Wow, he's gone more defensive and we nearly conceded. So we go to the back 5 and Lewis Hall nearly scored. I mean, look, Dorgu's already scored 1 worldie and that was a bloody good shot. I don't think Lemen's got anything on it. It's got loads of dip. I thought Lemen's might have got a finger on it. I think Lemen's would have saved that if that was on target, but... Good defending. Referee blows up. Too soon and too reactive, says Shahin. I'm going to take a note of that, Shahin. I think that was a bit too soon, that substitution as well. Martinez is down here. I didn't think it was Martinez. Let's hope he's all right. Oh, it's they're trying to say he handballed it. Bloody hell. I don't think that's a handball because it's so close to him. I don't think it will get given. But you can understand why Newcastle might want to say something about it. They're checking it. No way that's a penalty. No way. No way. Martinez is showing his chest. There's no way. You can't get away with it, mate. We've got cameras. It's hit your hand, but it's too close. You can't get out. How is he supposed to stop that? They won't give that. You can't give that. I've seen that happen in the Premier League loads of times. I'm just trying to think of a few examples. But you can't give a penalty for that. Yeah, no penalty. That would have been a ridiculous decision to give a penalty for that. Because I know people will go, "Oh, we've got away with it," but it's like it hits his chest before it hits his hands, and you know his hands are in a natural position. I know it looks like he nearly catches the ball, but what do you want to do with his hands? You can't give a penalty for that. You can't give a penalty for that. And there'll be loads of people saying, "Oh, it should be a penalty. It should be a penalty." And look, if it was against United, I would want it. But if we're being real, what is he supposed to do in that situation? Of more concern is why Amorim has changed the formation that was working. Oh, Anthony Gordon's done well there. Voltemeda. Well done. Oh, I thought he got there then, Dorgu. You can't play basketball in your own box now, says Mech. Did you see how lean Martinez was, says Alex. As a natural of an arm position as it could be, says Dimitri. Exactly. Is Amorim showing how to lose from a strong position, says New Nonsense. There's a lot of people not happy because, well, this is the substitutions I was worried about. Harvey Barnes, Joel Linton, Wizza. They've actually got decent substitutions here. And we're going to have to do a lot of defending in this game. Go on, get rid of that Dorgu. Don't give a corner away. Oh, throw in. That's it. Get rid of it. It's going to be a long half, this. If we can't get a second goal, we've got a long half. Adichie says, I think the subs might cost as well. Unless Casemiro's got a knock, I don't really understood why we've took him off, because he didn't even play against Villa. And, you know, he's a leader. You know, he's lean. It's a long time to defend. Fucking hell, Anthony Gordon there. They carved us open like the Christmas turkey and he's just put it wide and you just worry, don't you? Don't like this defensive switch. I think it's way too early to be going like this. I mean, they've dominated this half. Can't be dropping and changing your own system multiple times in one game, says Poke. We're winning, mate. We're winning. Let's calm down. Day says, this shows Amorim's lack of tactical awareness. Taking Casemiro off, who's good at aerial contributions, both offensively and defensively. Also, why go back to a back three? Because that's who he is, I suppose. I mean, look, I liked the first half, seeing United in a back four, but it's not really who he is. And he's probably quite conflicted in his head, isn't he? Like, you know, if I win with the back four, everyone's going to say my formation's shit. Whereas if I change it and win, I can still, you know, have a bit of my say in it. And obviously he probably trusts it more because he knows it more. If this isn't careful, carry on like this, I'll make sure he gets collar felt, says Jake. And just a reminder, we sold all our wingers. A back four is not the way forward for our plan. Square pegs in round holes, says Rash. I'm afraid the subs will cost us, says Adichio. Well, look, we're in their half at the moment. And to be fair, the minutes have gone very quickly. Recon Guy says, I think they'll equalise. Luke Shaw's had a yellow card here for time wasting. Alex says, subs were early, but the lack of depth is on Ineos. Anthony, thanks for your super chat. Game for Newcastle to win. Disappointed with the subs, says Man. Look, until we're not winning, we're winning. So a little bit of positivity. They've had chances, but they haven't had loads. That's a great interception by Yoro. We've got to go forward, though. We keep intercepting the ball and going backwards. We've got to go forwards. You've got to go forwards. We can't. Possession's not going to work. Sorry, not possession, but going backwards. We've got to go forward. We need the second goal here. Deja vu changes so early. Hope we can hold on, says Ian O'Connell. Hope you're doing well, man. Stardust says, I'll say it again, Casemiro was saving our midfield. I think we have missed Mason Mount since he went off as well. And that one's very honest. The Sixer says, Merry Christmas, Mark, United staff and community. Oh! Across the face of the goal. No one there for United. Do you believe if we get any signings in January, we can make a run for the Europa League? So, well, mate, we're going to be joint 5th if we win here. Do you think Stiller would be a good signing, says Richard? Yes. Best form of defence is attack, says James. It's a club first for me. If the formation switches to win with this formation, he's lost me today. We do what's best for the team, not for Amorim's ego, says Kieran. What is Amorim still doing? What is Amorim doing? Still looks like a back four. Gordon against Yoro now is a recipe for disaster. The low right wing. Really poor subs. Baffling. It's a short-tempered gamer. I love the story about your old cat, Mark, says Anthony. Thank you, pal. Is Delo playing as a 10, says Daniel. No, we're definitely playing a back five. I don't know what people are talking about. Dorgu's here. I mean, oh no, it's hard to tell. I think Dorgu's, I don't know. I can definitely see Yoro, Luke Shaw, Delo. I think it's almost a back six at times. Good block. There's a lot of defenders anyway. There's a lot of defenders there. A hell of a lot of defenders. Aman says, first ever super chat. Love the channel, Mark. Been watching since the Ollie days. I think maybe the subs were preemptive to get them to settle into the 3-4-3 before Newcastle's fresh legs. Thoughts, says Arman. We've got a break here. Dorgu's the ball. He's got loads of space. And it should be a yellow card for Tonali, yeah. Dylan says, not in a back five. Delo is the right way. Mate, Dylan, with all due respect, we've all got eyes. When Newcastle are attacking, it's almost like a back six. I can see Dorgu, I can see Shaw, I can see Martinez, I can see Heaven, I can see Yoro, I can see Delo. And they're all back. So I think what people are getting here is they're getting confused between with the ball and without the ball. It's certainly not visible as the 4-3-3 in the first half. Oh, Sesko! What a chance. What a chance. I mean, he might have been offside from the free kick, but it was a great ball by Martinez. Oh, he's got to score. Oh, it's not Sesko, it's Delo. Fucking hell. It's not. I thought it was Sesko. It's Delo. It was Delo. Loads of people in the chat saying Sesko. I thought it was Sesko. It was Delo. He's got to score that. I wish it bloody was Sesko. He would have scored it, I think. Fucking hell. Oh, they've got a good run here. Lewis Hall. Well played, Lamens. It wasn't Sesko. That was Delo. Even I got it wrong. This is keeping the Stretford end quiet, says John. It was Delo. That's why it wasn't marked. Fair point. Taking off Casemiro is going to cost us, as makes our midfield even weaker, says Glenn. We just got to keep our concentration. We're probably going to need to ride our luck a little bit here. Go on. Good ball, good ball. Luke Shaw. Come on, we've got a 4v4 here. No, that's a shit ball. Shit ball. That needs to be ahead of him there. Delo couldn't finish his Christmas dinner, says Kieran. Please do subscribe to the channel if you're watching, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner. We're live every night at 8 o'clock, every morning at 10 o'clock. We are only 100 subscribers away from 224,000, so please do subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner to do that. Got about 15 minutes of normal time to get through here. It's not, you know, ultimately, I would describe this game as just winning. You know, I don't think it's been a great performance this second half at all. I mean, I'm tempted not to even look at the stats because they've not been that good. But 37% possession. Fucking hell. But a win is a win, and you don't get deducted points for not having 50% possession at home. And the positive is, we haven't conceded so far. And we've got through more than half of this half. We've played half an hour. Why is Yoro so slow, says Stig. I don't think Yoro is slow. I just think he's up against wingers, isn't he? That's a different type of pace. Good work here by Cunha. And to be fair, Miley's done well there. And Xerxes giving the ball away, says Voz. Another substitution for Newcastle. For another pint mark, I'm going to need one seeing the rest of this half out. Says Angry Brit. What's Xerxes done since he come on? Says Ams. And Mark, we've been non-existent this half. You know what? I've just realised how thick I am. How could I even think it was Sesko when he's been off the pitch for about 15 minutes? But the funny thing is, I wasn't the only one. There was people in the chat going, bloody Sesko. He's not even been on the pitch for 15 minutes. It was Delo. I know it was Delo anyway, but to actually think it was Sesko. He's not been on the pitch. I think it was just the shock of seeing Delo in that position. Xerxes has been diabolical, says Pengas. Look, I think we've missed Mason Mount this half. Glenn says we've been non-existent this half. We've been bad second half. We have been bad. But I'm sort of looking at the scoreline and going, well, you know, looking at the next few games we've got. Hi, Mark. Been watching the show for years. First super chat. I'm with the family in the south of France. Cleared it. Le Mans, I think a foul's been given. That's foul. That's a foul. And with the family in the south of France, come on United, says Anthony. Well, I hope you're enjoying your break, mate, and let's hope we can get a win for everybody. I don't know what the foul was for there. I mean, I've seen a lot worse by Arsenal's defence. Very rarely see a foul for that, do you? We'll take it, ref. This drop-off is due to the tactical changes, says Dakota. I think the players are just confused. Too many changes, says Shahin. Well, at least the clock's going down. It feels like we might need a clean sheet to win this game, though. Because we've not really created anything, have we, second half? Cross coming in. Heaven's had a good game, clears it away. Yoro's up against Gordon, possibly the fastest winger on the planet. What are people on about calling him slow? That's what I mean, Mrs. Stone. It's tough when you're up against a quick player. Delo. Why is Delo tackling somebody after that? See Delo. I don't know what Delo was doing there. He seemed to slide tackle thin air. Cunha and Dorgu have been our best players, says Glenn Castle. Watch Delo here. Goes past him and then he fell over. I thought he was doing a slide tackle on the touchline. Honestly, me too, Mark, and I know the subs, says D Budge. It's hard to watch, nail biting, losing too much of the ball, says Alan. Cunha and Dorgu have been our best players. Look, one thing I would say is I've seen a lot of Newcastle this season, and their season, any Newcastle fan will tell you, they've dropped so many points like that they probably shouldn't have dropped. So they should have beat Chelsea last Saturday. They drew. They should have got something out of Liverpool at home. They lost. So they are having that type of a season. So look, fingers crossed. But we're going to have to try and defend this out. I can't see this I can't see this game changing. The pattern of the game. If the players can't cope with changes from game to game, they should retire. What's the point then, says Stig. A lot of stick in the chat about Amorim, but look, all I'm interested in is that. That's the thing to me. You know, and a lot of people have been giving me shit because I go, wow, you know, you say you don't want results, you want performance and vision. Look, PRV, performance, results and vision, very important, but I want to be in Europe next season as well. He's got a pass there, Cunha. I genuinely believe you'd have led Northampton to the Premier League if you hadn't taken the ball to your balls. Says only one Norfolk. Yeah, probably. Merry Christmas. We're playing at Old Trafford and we're playing scared. Makes no sense to me, says Marco. I hate to keep talking about Agate, but what's the consensus on why people criticise him? What do fans think his flaws are? Says Matt. I just don't think he's that good, is he, Matt? You know, I don't think he's a very convincing player. I mean, if you look at Newcastle's midfield, they've absolutely dominated his second half. I mean, we've basically parked the bus, haven't we? 12 corners, says Stardust. Merry Christmas. We're playing at Old Trafford and we're playing scared. We've done that from Mark. Cunha is a very selfish player, says Effie. Thank the Lord for Le Mans, says Laputa. Look, 10 minutes to go. I've got to say, the second half has moved quick, in considering we've done absolutely nothing. Just Sal Xerxes, says Chino. That's a good tackle, Agate. Le Mans goes long. People talk confusion of tactics as if these are not paid professionals. Come on, I am yet to see Fletcher. Not every game is for kids, says Stephen. Let's be real, it changed after Mount's injury. His pressing mattered. They came out firing in the second half and Amorim had to act. Our very thin squad should be the talking point, says John United. Yeah, but I do think that, look, if we get the win, you get the credit, don't you? It's as simple as that. We should play 9 defenders and Delo all alone. Good idea, says Edits. I don't even think Agate is better than Fred, and we all agreed Fred isn't good enough, says Daniel. United stats for scoring the first 45 minutes and losing is 0%, drawing 40 and winning 60. That's crazy stats, either win or draw, says Chris. It is. Remember, this puts us 6 points ahead of Newcastle, though. Everybody back. Everybody back. I mean, it's a rear guard action now. It's basically been a rear guard action for most of the game. Harvey Barnes, Anthony Gordon over the bar. Could be our day. Could be our day. It's not going for Newcastle at all. Another few minutes wasted. I mean, look at these stats at half. Here we go. 12 shots to our 9. 64% to 36 possession. 11 corners to 2. This is all about the points. All about the points. I'm hammering out if they sit back and lose this, says GB. Well, with 5 minutes to go, I would hope that's not going to happen. Hope you had a nice Christmas, says Adam. You too, mate. Merry Christmas, pal. Why is Xerxes getting slated? We only had 2 attackers on the pitch and 8 defenders. Luke Shaw's coming. No, he's not coming off. There's too much space in our midfield here for my liking. It's a lovely cross, Harvey Barnes. Well done, Martinez. I've got to say, I think Martinez and Heaven have been superb. I really do. I know at half-time, I probably would have said Dorgu and Cunha, but I didn't know we were going to defend as much as this in the second half, and I do think that they have been fantastic. They've not put a foot wrong. I hope I'm wrong, but I feel he went too defensive way too early. Not enough forward players on the pitch to keep the ball and give the defence a rest, says Bowl. Keeper needs some praise as well, says Garfield. Dorgu. I like Dorgu, but I do feel he's been down a lot this game. Oh, he's getting up now. He's getting up now. I think he might have took one to the face, to be fair. Oh, yeah. There's no... I thought it might be a bit sportsmanship. He's took it right to the face there. Right, Malacia and Fredrickson coming on with 5 minutes to go. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Why? And Martin... Why? Why would you do that? Why would you take Luke Shaw and Martinez off with 5 minutes to go? It's 5 minutes though. That's what I mean. Why take the risk 5 minutes? Why? I mean, I'm sure they could play 5 more minutes. It's not. We sort of do need them. Computer probably says no. I don't know. Well, look, it's 5 minutes. Hopefully it's not going to matter. Martinez has been fantastic. They're definitely not injured. That's the main thing. And obviously we are playing again on Tuesday. But look, we're going to be under pressure here. Cross comes in. Over the bar. I just hope there's not much added time. I mean, we've only got a minute and a half. 4 minutes. 4 minutes. Maximum 5. He only added 2 in the first half, so... Well done, Xerxes. Come on. That's it. Just keep the shape now. Keep the shape. Keep pushing them wide. Deal with the crosses. It's a good cross. Watch out. Over the bar. Oh, look, it's a bad finish, but I'll clap it. Kamikaze stuff. He must have bet on a draw, says Sound Dog. Amorim playing his subs for a sacking. What is Ruben doing? What a bad second half of football. Merry Christmas, Mark, says James. VXD says, you may disagree with me, but I think at times Amorim is dreadful. I completely disagree with his subs. You can't play like this for 45 minutes at Old Trafford, says VXD. He's added 7 minutes! 7 bloody minutes! Where's he got that from? His arse? 7 minutes? 7 minutes? Oh, I don't know where he's got 7 minutes from. I'm not having that. You having that? Mad, Amorim will never take a risk starting players, but happy to potentially throw a spanner in the works in the defence at the end, says Chronograph. Look, at the end of the day, we've won this game because of a worldie. You know, it wasn't even a well-created goal. It was just an absolute banger from a clearance. So, you know, you take it. It's all about the result, this. I've been down this road many times before. You certainly won't catch me not celebrating a win. Regardless of the performance, I think sometimes the enormity... Look, if we beat Man City playing shit next month, I ain't going to moan about substitutions. A win is a win, isn't it? Mad lineup at the end. 3 points. Come on, says Eddie Mack. Not there yet, mate. Not there yet. What are these subs taking off the most experienced players for ones that haven't kicked a ball all season? This is Glenn. Heaven man of the match on Sky did very well, but let's see who the community picks, says Keith. Yeah, you can do your player ratings. Mark every player. 10 being the average, 6 being the average. Star for your man of the match. Ref's done as is, says Recon Guy. Backs against the wall at home. This is not United, says Matt. Amorim will never take a risk at starting players. Done that one from Chronograph. James says he's playing for a sacking. Subs are mental, says Joker. Look, Amorim thinks we're winning 5-0, says JM Jones. Look, on another day, we probably would have lost this game. But it's a strange old season. And whilst Newcastle have been a bit wasteful and dominated the second half, I think you'd be hard-pressed to find a Man United fan who gives a shit. And if you look at our next 3 games, we're playing much easier teams than Newcastle. So, good take by Lemens. He's had a good game as well. Keeper's had a good game. Always good to have a goalkeeper that comes and gets the ball like that as well. This ain't time to get Ancelotti out of Brazil, says Bradley. This ain't Haram ball, it's Amorim vegan ball. I mean, are people genuinely unhappy with this performance? Because surely the result, well, we'll talk about it in the match reaction, but surely the result, I want to be in Europe next season, you know? I desperately want to be in Europe next season. We can't keep dropping points. We've taken 2 points from 9 in our last 3 home games. So, you know, we've got to, good or bad, we've got to find ways of winning the game. What's Lamens doing here? Oh, he's got it. Don't worry, he's got it. Scott, thank you very much for your super chat. Think Man United needs experienced striker, especially for Sesko, says Sam. Amorim wants Delo to be captain for the end, says John. Disappointing performance, Mark. Well, I mean, look, at the end of the day, Newcastle have actually played really well. They're going to lose. We've played pretty bad, especially second half, and we're going to win. Who would you rather be? That's football, you know? I said this game was absolutely huge, and we needed to win it. Goal kick, 2 minutes. Fucking hell, come on. Subs are poisonous, says Narky. Look, I don't think, hands on, I'll say it at the start of the match reaction anyway. If you don't like Amorim, I don't think this is going to change your mind. This is just, PRV, performance, results, vision. What's the vision? Where's the performance? But the result. And he will survive on results. I want him to get the season. He will get the season. I want us to get into Europe. This helps us. Eddie Mack says, considering who's on the pitch, we did well. Yeah, but Eddie, considering what's on the pitch is nothing to do with, Amorim. Get rid of it. That should be it. Just run it. Run it, Dorgu. Go for the corner. There's not long left. Oh, Xerxes, just take it down, mate. Still 30 seconds to go. You deserve this. You've pulled me through losing my dad to suicide and Nan early to cancer. You're a true legend. Any cooking videos, says Oliver. They will be coming back in the new year, mate. I was hoping to get one done. First of all, thank you very much for being part of the community, Oliver. And they will be back early in the new year. I was hoping to get one done pre-Christmas, but just didn't quite get the time to do it. Only about 15 seconds to go. That's headed away. Well done. It's going to blow. He's got to blow. Well up heaven. Blow, ref. Brilliant win. Brilliant win. Brilliant win. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. That is a great win for Manchester United. It's a great win. Very big 3 points. This is what it does to the table. Absolutely fantastic win for United. That puts us up to 5th place, 29 points. Wolves to come. It's a really big result for United. I don't think it was a big performance. I really, really don't. But it's a big win. And, sometimes I think when you look at the last few weeks, Everton at home, West Ham at home, Bournemouth at home, lots of criticism. Spurs away, lots of criticism. Villa away, lots of criticism. But that's a win. And I think that on paper, that was a difficult game for us. And in reality, it was a difficult game for us. So to win that game is a real positive. Don't forget to do your match reaction, your player ratings. Scan the QR code, get through the link in the description. I'm going to see you over on the match reaction in a minute where we'll digest a little bit more of that. I mean, I do think there are some home truths. There's definitely some home truths. I'll speak to you about that in a minute. See you on the match reaction.